The lights go out at 3 a.m. By noon, the 911 switchboard is dead air. You think you're a survivor because you have a rifle in a bunker? You are delusional. In the wreckage of the old world, a toothache is a tactical disaster. A scratched shin is a death sentence. When the hospitals become slaughterhouses, the pain economy takes over. Your crypto is trash. The only currency that holds value is chemical. If you cannot maintain your biological machine, you are just a corpse waiting to fall. Welcome to class. Tactical mobility. Chemical hydraulics. Pain is not an emotion. It is a tactical liability. A sprained ankle or a rotting molar will degrade your combat effectiveness by 80%. You hesitate. You limp. You die. You cannot afford to feel your body breaking down. You need non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs. Throw away the paracetamol. It is a placebo for civilians. It masks the signal but ignores the damage. You need ibuprofen and, if you can source it, ketorolac. These are not comfort pills. They are mobility assurance. The protocol. Stockpile 600 milligrams to 800 milligram ibuprofen dosages. For extreme trauma, broken bones, or dental abscesses, you need the heavy artillery. Ketorolac is the closest thing to legal morphine without the sedation. When you have to move fast on bad legs, you preload. You do not wait for the pain to ground you. The science. Mechanics over feelings. Trauma triggers the release of prostaglandins, lipids that flood the site and cause inflammation. Swelling is what locks your joints. It is a hydraulic failure. NSAIDs inhibit the cyclooxygenase enzymes responsible for this production. We are not tricking the brain. We are chemically suppressing the body's natural desire to quit. You are trading long-term kidney stress for immediate survival. In a firefight, that is a bargain. But suppressing the pain doesn't stop the rot. The perimeter defense, iodine protocols. You survived the ambush, but the scratch on your arm is festering. In 1914, sepsis killed more men than machine guns. It will do the same to you. Most survival kits are garbage because they rely on alcohol or peroxide. Alcohol burns healthy tissue. Peroxide is a fizzy toy. You need a chemical weapon that destroys everything it touches. You need povidone iodine, commonly known as betadine. It is the gold standard. It does not sting, it stains. That stain is the color of safety. The protocol. Buy the 10% solution, diluted to the color of weak tea for irrigation. Do not pour it raw into a deep cut. Flush it. But here's the force multiplier. Iodine is potable. In a crisis, 4 drops of 2% tincture will sterilize a liter of swamp water in 30 minutes. It tastes like copper and misery, but it kills the parasites. 1 bottle secures your blood and your hydration. The science. This is cellular annihilation. Iodine penetrates the cell wall of microorganisms and oxidizes the cytoplasm. It literally rusts the bacteria to death from the inside out. It works on gram-positive, gram-negative, fungi, and viruses. Bacteria cannot develop resistance to being dissolved. It is total sterilization.
Your skin is sealed, but your gut is a ticking biological bomb. The internal plug. Loperamide. You secured the perimeter, but you ignored the water supply. In a collapse scenario, sanitation drops to medieval levels overnight. 1 sip of bad water from a clean stream, 1 unwashed hand, and you are hit with the dysentery express. You think diarrhea is an inconvenience. You are wrong. In the field, it is a rapid onset death spiral. You flush out liters of water and essential salts in hours. You become a shivering, defecating mess, unable to hold a rifle or walk 100 yards. You die of dehydration while lying next to a river you cannot drink from. You need the plug. You need loperamide hydrochloride. Brand name Imodium is for tourists. Get the generic bulk packs. The protocol? When the faucet turns on, you do not wait to see if it passes. You dose immediately. Take 4 milligrams, 2 taps, instantly. Then 2 milligrams after every loose stool. You are not trying to feel comfortable. You are mechanically sealing the hole breach to keep the water inside the vessel. The science? This is chemistry hacking biology. Loperamide is an opioid receptor agonist. It targets the mu-opioid receptors in the myenteric plexus of the large intestine. It does not get you high. The molecule is too large to cross the blood-brain barrier. Instead, it paralyzes the smooth muscles of the gut. It stops peristalsis dead. The transit time slows down, forcing the body to reabsorb the fluid. It is a chemical cork. Use it or dry out and die. But sealing the leak is useless if the tank is already empty. The battery fluid, oral rehydration salts. Congratulations, you stopped the diarrhea, but you are still dying. You are pale, your hands are shaking, and your brain is misfiring. You chug a liter of plain water thinking you are saving yourself. You are not. You are committing biological. Drinking plain water when your system is crashed just dilutes what little sodium remains in your blood. It flushes right through you. You don't need irrigation, you need an electrolyte charge. Your heart runs on electricity, and without salt, the lights go out. The protocol? Stockpile WHO standard oral rehydration salts. They cost pennies. If you can't buy them, memorize the survival cocktail right now. 1 liter of boiled water, 6 level teaspoons of sugar, half a teaspoon of salt. This ratio is non-negotiable. Too much salt kills your kidneys, too little does nothing. The science? Listen closely because this is biology's back door. Your intestines refuse to absorb water passively when you are sick. The cellular gates are locked, but there is a mechanism called the sodium-glucose cotransporter, SGLT1. It is a pump. When you introduce glucose and sodium in the exact 1-to-1 molar ratio, it hacks the cell wall. The pump activates, dragging water molecules into the bloodstream by force. It is not a drink. It is an intravenous strip without the needle. It resurrects the dead.
Your chemistry is stable, but chemistry will not stop a bacterial invasion. The dirty secret. Veterinary antibiotics. The pharmacies will be empty on day 1. Every fever, every cough will be a death sentence because the antibiotics will be gone, hoarded by the powerful, but they will forget the aquarium supply aisle. This is the prepper's dirtiest secret. An infected wound or a lung infection will ground you permanently. You need the nuclear option. You need Fishmox. The protocol: look for veterinary-grade antibiotics. Fishmox is amoxicillin. Fishflox is ciprofloxacin. Do not trust the box. Trust the markings. The capsules are identical to human-grade medication because they are. Look for the USP designation on the bottle. United States Pharmacopoeia. That is your guarantee of purity. The capsules will have the same imprint codes as the ones from the pharmacy. The science: a molecule of amoxicillin has one job: to inhibit the formation of bacterial cell walls. It does not care if the host has gills or lungs. The production lines for veterinary and human pharmaceuticals are often the same. The only difference is the paper label and the price. You are not using an alternative. You are exploiting a supply chain loophole. But some threats don't wait for infection. They strike now. The panic switch. Diphenhydramamine. You are on watch. A spider bites your neck. A bee stings your hand. You eat a handful of unknown berries. Within minutes, your throat begins to swell shut. Your airway, the size of your thumb, is closing. A bullet takes seconds. Suffocation takes 3 agonizing minutes. Anaphylactic shock is the silent assassin. Your defense is the panic switch. Diphenhydramamine. Benadryl. This is not for a runny nose. This is for keeping your windpipe from sealing itself. The protocol: stockpile 50 milligram tablets. This is the emergency dosage. At the first sign of a systemic reaction, swelling, hives, shortness of breath, you take 2. Its primary function is to stop the biological overreaction, but its side effect is its second function. Diphenhydramamine is a powerful sedative. In a high-stress environment, your mind will break before your body. Sleep is not a luxury. It is a weapon. 2 tablets will force an 8-hour shutdown. This is tactical sedation for when you or a teammate are spiraling. The science: histamine is the trigger. When your body panics, it floods your system with histamine, causing vasodilation and bronchiodistriction. Your pipes leak and swell. Diphenhydramamine is a histamine H1 antagonist. It physically blocks the receptors. It is a chemical shield. The sedation comes from its anticholinergic properties. It crosses the blood-brain barrier and dampens the central nervous system. It is a switch for the panic and a switch for the lights. The training is over. The knowledge is now yours. While others are searching for a doctor who no longer exists, you are the doctor. While they are begging for a pharmacy that has been looted, you are the pharmacy. The contents of your medical kit are no longer just supplies. They are instruments of power. They are the chemical keys to mobility, hydration, and biological dominance. You do not hope for survival. You manufacture it. Now get to work. The clock is ticking.